And we're back with some more Umineko when they cry. So, it has been quite a while. My upload scheduling's been on and off due to GBF's Guild War and such. But, no, we're back for the time being. So, how should I start this? Where we last left off, according to the last part where it was titled A Feud Over the Dinner Table. So, we were. I mean, why do I say we? The last part was where it's focused more on Jessica's backstory, although it shifted from like the talk of Angie to Jessica questioning Maria's like weird behavior to where it bugs her. Although her belief when it comes to Beatrice is pretty opposite, you know. She doesn't believe in this whole Beatrice thing because it's more of like a ghost story, fairy tale type of thing. So, yeah, but it's not surprising. That's for damn sure. Although, when it comes to like Maria's, it could be a possibility of a split personality. Although it's more of Maria rather, construct. It's she rather construct a different identity, just like how Jessica wants to like get away from this whole Ushiromiya family to where she rather participate in a different case of escapism. Uh, Pretty interesting per se, but if anything, right now she's going around asking the servants whether Beatrice exists or not. Well, except for Goda. Goda, is the same as like the other people. But let's continue. Shannon spoke in detail of how she'd sometimes feel a strange presence or see a silhouette while doing the midnight rounds. And each time she started, Jessica would immediately cut her off, saying she must have seen it wrong or been mistaken.
ゴーダさんだって会ったことあるわけじゃないだろ。
もちろんですとも。しかし、まあ。
However, of course, I've not seen who Beatrice well. However, it's gee, I wonder. He was being very evasive. Even a man as big as Goto was apparently unable to deny the existence of someone he never met. This really didn't sit well with Jessica. She was a resident of this mansion herself. They were acting as though someone she didn't know, was living here. Of course, she didn't like it.
ちょっと待った。
Jotomatta. I thought it's Jotomatte, not Jotomatta.
今の話をもう一度。
と言いますと？
貴賓室の話ですか？
Goda and Shannon had been recounting several ghost stories about Beatrice. One of those drew a reaction from Jessica. What? Many ghost stories means like different narratives,
そうそう。今の貴賓室の話。面白いぜ。
Huh? Sounds pretty cool. Goda and Shannon glanced at each other. After all, it hadn't been a quote-unquote cool story to either.
貴賓室には午前2時に入ってはいけないですか？
午前2時にはベアトリーチェ様が貴賓室にお戻りになるので、近づいてはいけないですか？
そうそう、それそれ。面白いぜ。どの話もベアトリーチェらしきものを見たの聞いたのって体験談ばっかだけど、その話は違うぜ。午前2時に貴賓室に行けばベアトリーチェ様にお会いできるってわけだ。
それはどうでしょう。
お嬢様、ベアトリーチェ様を悪く言った使用人にはたたりがあると言われています。ましてや貴賓室はベアトリーチェ様のお部屋。
いくらお嬢様でもそれはおよしになられた方が。
貴賓室って今は鍵がかかってるんだっけ？鍵は？
You know, that's the funny thing, right? Nobody visits the VIP room except for specific people. So it's like, okay, surely someone has the key for it.
鍵はキーボックスにあったでしょうか。
Key box? I thought you... Yeah, and here I thought it would be like, oh, you need the master key for this shit, yada yada.
多分源氏様がご自分の席にしまわれていると思います。
Oh. So I guess apparently it's not just the master key, it's just like, it's gotta be a specific... Someone had to like, you know, have a specific key.
マスターキーでも開くんでしょ？
That's what I wonder too.
貸してよ。
Oh, I see what she's gonna do. Because the look on her face is like, oh, so really? So you think Beatrice's in the VIP room, huh? Then I want to see it for myself.
そういうわけには参りません。
Why not?
お嬢様、好んで不吉な場所に近づくことはありません。
I mean, if the servants who get cursed will speak ill of it, then, you know, then what of it? Like, that's the thing, like...
おいおい、人の家を勝手に不吉にするんじゃねえぜ。とにかく私は決めた。マスターキーが貸せないなら貴賓室の鍵はあるでしょ？貸して。
お嬢様。
To Jessica, the expressions worn by the pair felt like more like an ill omen than anything else did. In Jessica's eyes, the ill omen thing wasn't the witch or the VIP room. It was them, Maria and the others who believed in witches. In the end, Jessica forced them to agree and she made them bring her the key to the VIP room.
ベアトリーチェが本当に貴賓室に現れるかどうか肝試しをしたというわけか。
An ill omened place, like the ones who oh wow, the fucking wind, the annoying winds that got cut off. Yeah, the ones who believed in Beatrice will call it the ill omened room. So it's like, okay. If you're saying that the servants get cursed for speaking ill of her, then wouldn't that apply to the fucking other family members as well? That speak ill of it? Because they usually tend to make fun of it as well.
そんなとこだぜ。しかし私は何を意地になってたんだろうな。年派もいかないマリアとの喧嘩を引きずってたに違いない。
Well, that could mean one thing. You wanted to see whether Beatrice is in there yourself. so that later on, maybe later down the line, that you can go back and apologize to Maria. Or, if it isn't there, then she'll be just, and if Maria the Regi isn't there, then obviously not Maria, obviously Jessica would be laughing all the way to the bank. Like, so that's two things I'm doing. And that's the thing, because just I could believe the same thing, because what if the VIP room is just just blocked off, or and only maybe someone else would be like. Of course, the weather just had to be terrible on that particular night. To be honest, I slightly regretted sticking my nose into something so pointless. But I'd already said so much and even borrowed the key from them. I couldn't just go to Shannon the next day, have her ask me how it went, and answer, well, I gave up because it was too scary. Tee-hee-hee. That'd just be pathetic. Oh no. The room's so scary. Oh, give me a fucking break, dude. So this has to be specifically 2 a.m.? Can't be just anything else? Can't visit at any time? Normally, I go to sleep long before 2 a.m. Okay. If Mom found me wandering around the corridors at that time of night, she'd definitely yell at me. Obviously. It's one of those curfew moments from your parents. Well, that's the thing. Like, Jessica's close. Well, I'm not sure 18 is count as the adult in the manner, but if anything, 20. Although people can argue that if anything, 21 years or older and above is all classifies that you're a fucking adult, and whatever number. So I waited in my room, staring at the hands of my clock as it ticked closer to 2. Outside, the rain was incredible and the wind strong. The swaying, rustling trees were particularly eerie. I'd complained to Shannon and Goda about making up ghost stories about my house, but I was starting to feel like those ghost stories might not be so impossible after all. The Ushiromiya mansion is huge. Honestly, I can't think of the entire mansion as my own house. Well, I mean, it might as well be called a fucking... Well, no, because the mansion is not... Because the castle would obviously be bigger than the mansion. The mansion is just the second biggest. I don't even know if there's even a rich family that would reside in the castle, unless in the olden days, but still. I mean, if you're saying, I don't know why you would say, oh, the entire mansion, you can't really think it's your own house. Well, you are in the Ushiromiya family mansion, so you're part of family after all. As Mom says, the hallways of the Ushiromiya mansion should be treated like public roads. In other words, my own room is part of my home, but the hallways and rooms I don't usually enter are outside. So while part of me felt that this VIP room ghost story was ridiculous, another part of me was so creeped out that it kept frantically trying to convince itself that the first part of me was right. Only 10 minutes left till 2. If I want to be inside the VIP room at 2, I need to get there before then.
行くか。悪いが、私も意地だぜ。
That's the spirit. Nothing's going to happen. I know that. It'll just be a stupid waste of time for a few minutes. And all of a sudden, you're like, the, the plot thickens. Is like, oh, you are now going to be, whatchamacallit? What's the word? Erased away. I touched the doorknob to the door of my room and was startled by how unpleasantly cold it was. As long as I stayed in this room, I could laugh off anything. After all, this was my room. But it wouldn't be like that in the hallway. That's outside my territory. And the doorknob, the barrier between the two, is ice cold. Idiots. What are you so scared of? Me? You aren't taking Shannon's, Goda-san's, or maybe Kumasawa-san's gossip seriously, are you? I'll prove it. There's nothing strange in the VIP room. The corridor was only dimly lit. Before lights out, before lights out time, the hallways were brighter. But to avoid wasting energy or something like that, we kept the lights to a minimum at night. So even though I was inside my own house, it was very clearly the middle of the night. If Mom found out that I was wandering around at a time like this to do a test of courage in the VIP room, which I'm not even supposed to go in, I'd get in a lot of trouble. To make sure she didn't find out, I tried to hide my breathing and my footsteps. It's like we're role playing in a horror game or a hide and seek horror game. So the silence felt unbelievably loud. Even though it was so quiet, that eerie sound of the wind was noisy. The sound of twigs rustling, the sound of some pillar in this old mansion creaking. What's that sound like a beak tapping against glass? Though it was so quiet, all of the little suspicious sounds made it seem noisy. Damn, I'm an idiot. Why couldn't I have brought a flashlight, at least? Well, should have brought a lighter, but I guess in terms of like, you know, when you're trying to be quiet, then gotta make sure you don't, reveal yourself. A flashlight to use inside my own home? Huh, that's even more idiotic. No, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I guess like when you're trying to like, I mean, I guess it really depends on the scenario, I guess. That's even more idiotic. I mumbled this to myself, hoping it would drown out the sound of the wind just a little. Then I saw it, the door to the VIP room. This was the VIP room, the room for important guests. However, as far as I knew, it had never been used before. None of the guests who came to this mansion were important enough to be given use of this room. I guess, assumingly the VIP room is the guest room. Though I'd been clutching that key the whole time, it didn't feel warm at all. It's still ruthlessly and icily tormenting. Or maybe that was a warning. The, the ice cold key telling you, like, no, you must turn back now. If you go back to your comfortable room and hide in your bed, this night will pass like any other. Yeah, that's no shit.
バカにすんじゃねえぜ。ここまで来て今さら引き下がれるかってんだ。
Even though the key was freezing in my hand, telling me to go back, it slipped into the keyhole quite easily. Eternal chains. All that's left is to turn the knob, open it, and I'll be inside the VIP room. It's not like I've never been in there before. Long ago, I explored and played hide and seek all the time. This room that I rarely entered seemed unusual and exciting. However, I got in trouble for going in and was told that this room was important, so one mustn't enter without reason. After that, they made a rule of locking up unused rooms and I couldn't go in anymore. So, it's probably been several years since I've gone into the VIP room. In fact, it might be more than 10 years since the last time. The inside of the room has probably changed from how I remember it. Come to think of it, even then, I felt that there was something unsettling about it. Slowly, I pushed the door open. The door was light, and even after I let go of it, it kept opening by itself, as though beckoning me in. Beyond it was a darkness as thick and heavy as ink. Even the dim light that peeked in from the corridor seemed bright in contrast. Oh, I stuck my head in, feeling about for the light switch next to the doorway. This was a horribly awkward and uncomfortable way to do it. All I really had to do was step inside and search for the switch from there. Unwilling to take a single step into the room, I timidly stuck just my arm into the darkness and felt along the wall.
あった。
Click. You know, this looks just like the VIP room used for episode 2. I could be wrong though, because episode 2, that's where like, they had this, quote unquote Beatrice as the most important guest, or VIP guest, in a way. The switch, which was hardly ever used, felt stiff and lifeless. However, once the light turned, the darkness vanished in an instant, and there, exactly as it had been, as though not a thing had changed in all these years, was the VIP room. The curtain and bed cover might have been slightly different, and maybe the chairs and the like had changed too. Still, if I had to put it in words, I'd call it the feel. The stiff, lifeless feel of this room hadn't changed. If I hang around here, someone might find me. I'd rather not have Mom find me here. I readied myself, and though I couldn't even bring myself to enter this room when the lights were out, I finally entered. As soon as I closed the door, I felt an oppressive, suffocating sensation. Alright, I've shut myself up in the VIP room. Bring it, Beatrice.
今何分だ？
I looked around the room, but I couldn't see any clock. I'm not in the habit of wearing a watch around the house. Damn. Now I'm not sure what time it is. Wait, what? You mean to tell me that... So you're a rich family and you mean to tell me you can't really, like, snag a hold of a watch? Oh, that's funny. You're not sure what time it is. Still, I know there's only a few minutes left at most. I tried to suppress my desire to use going to get a clock as an excuse to run away from this place. Even so, just standing around like this was boring. When I looked around again, searching for something to sit on, I found something strange.
なんだよ、これ。
Whoa. It is a creepy doll. Yeah, this is a... You know, that's kind of a... Why do I get the feeling that this doll kind of resembles Marissa from Toho. I mean, the way it's designed. And we're on like episode 7. I thought I'm on chapter 10, but it's chapter 7. And this is what happens when I've been on a 1 week hiatus. It had been placed on the side table next to the bed. If this room had been used often, I'd have thought it was just one of the owner's personal belongings. But no one lived in this room. So this can't belong to the room's
お
owner.
供えかよ。気持ち悪いぜ。
You know, that's the funny thing. It reminds me of that old horror movie that involved dolls, where the characters that would get killed off would get like turned into like, their bodies would disappear, and then all of a sudden, sometime later, it got turned into a doll. I don't know what the movie is called or like what year, but it has it had sort of it had some sort of premise to it. It really did look like an offering. A small French doll was sitting on the side table. The doll's hair was gold. It was wearing a black dress. Just who managed to find this doll and where? There's no doubt that someone placed the doll here to symbolize Beatrice. Does that mean this doll is supposed to be the owner of this room or something? You know, it could be one of the theories on my end where one of the dolls belongs to the previous servant or something. I don't know. Could be wrong. And looking like an offering to that owner, there sat a small plate with several cookies and wrapped chocolates. It was all set out neatly, and there was no dust piled up on the doll. In other words, wait, there were food sitting there and it didn't collect dust? That's interesting. In other words, both the doll and the offering were taken care of on a regular basis by the servants, kept in good condition, along with the rest of the room. Excuse me. Taken care of? No, it's more than that. It looked like an offering, no, like some sort of worship. A prayer saying, please don't curse us. So even though the doll was more than eerie enough by itself, viscerally, it was even more unnerving to imagine it being kept safe and worshipped in a place like this.
バカバカしいぜ。たたらないでくださいって、柏ででも打つのかよ。
Maybe. Or, you could just like screw around with it, I guess. Jessica forced herself to look away from the bizarre doll. She couldn't bring herself to sit on a bed that wasn't hers. Then again, she didn't really feel like sitting down on a chair either. She had lost any desire to sit on anything in this room. I wondered about aimlessly, then peeked out the windows through the gaps, the curtains to stare at the dark, rainy night. What the hell am I doing? Hanging about in the VIP room this late just because that fight with Maria is still eating at me. This is totally pointless. Beatrice. Just when did that strange witch start living in this mansion? Grandfather's always yelling about Beatrice. Since it's apparently the name of his dead mistress, people started talking about how her ghost must haunt this mansion. There's that kid's horror story about the witch in the forest, which might be a ghost story made by the adults to stop the kids from going in there. Or, the witch of the Cordoria mansion and such. Or, and then the narrative to where they make a horror story to where, like, you prevent them going to the forest, the VIP room, And most of the took it to heart, which is the amazing part. The portrait grandfather had hung in April was really striking, and there was also that weird epitaph, the creepy words on that, which sounded like some sort of ceremony with human sacrifices, made the name of Beatrice seem all the more unnerving. At some point, those stories mixed together, and now people say that the witch Beatrice exists. I don't believe in Beatrice because I know she's just a fictional person made by the fusion of a few horror stories. Horror stories, horror movie, some anime, same shit. The Beatrice who was grandfather's mistress probably did exist. Well, yeah, because he was supposedly his wife, quote unquote. Had met, but she wasn't a witch. The story of the witch of the forest was made up by the adults to prevent their kids from getting lost in the woods, but that was just a made up story, not reality. In fact, I've heard that the adults here once scared the kids with stories about about wolves living in the forest. Apparently, the kids realized that wolves couldn't possibly be there, so it was changed to the witch. Huh? You think there would be wildlife? Look, I don't really recall the previous episodes that there were wildlife in the Rokkenjima forest. When the portrait was hung, that once vague character suddenly had a face, and people acted as though she'd been hung around. People acted as though she'd been around since long ago. Excuse me. That's right. It's all a ghost story someone made, a fiction. And Maria calls Beatrice her best friend, and the servants worship her like a household shrine. I just don't get it, and it creeps me out. Oh shit, telephone. The sudden ring of the phone made me jump so hard I thought my heart would explode. There was a phone on the bedside table across from the one with the doll, and it was ringing noisily. However, I was only surprised by the first ring. By the time it had rung 3 times, I'd regained my cool enough to grumble about this being a prank done by someone trying to scare me. If I rush to pick it up, I'll probably hear someone laughing at me saying, "Are you scared?" I thought about ignoring it instead, but it kept on ringing incessantly. It was a pretty loud sound to have going on and on this late at night. If Mom somehow managed to hear it from her room, I'm screwed.
へいへい、取るぜ。取ってやるぜ。
Yeah, but who's call? Why would they? Why would the phone ring when the VIP room isn't like is off limits? Or maybe this is just a setup, you know? By maybe the servants tell them the story, told Jessica the story enough to where like they've planned it. They planned something from the beginning.
ああ、驚いたとでもいやいいんだろ。
I decided to pick up the receiver. I'll just say that surprised me, and maybe follow that up with, "Looks like Beatrice didn't show up after all." Snark, snort. After all, this is my victory in a sense.
もしもし。
ベアトリーチェ、こんにちは。
Oh fuck. Wait. So it's not the ser. Okay. Oh wait. I forgot. Usually, I guess like Maria wanted to speak to Beatrice by the phone because she has this illusion planted in her that she would call the witch at 2 in the morning.
マリア？
Uh oh. I don't get it. Did I hear that wrong? Why would Maria be calling here? Well, it's simple.
もしもし
この間は楽しいお歌を聴かせてくれてありがとう。だからお返しにマリアもベアトリーチェに歌うね。習った新しいお歌を歌うね。
The voice, the intonation, the manner of speech, all of it clearly belonged to Maria. But what's she talking about? All by herself. Maria just kept on talking happily as I stood there, stunned and unable to interrupt. Eventually, Maria started singing an old familiar kids song that even I knew. I don't get it.
マリアもしもしちょっと待てよ。歌うのやめろよ。なんなんだよ。わけがわかんねえぜ。もしもし
What? The voice and the lights. Everything disappeared. What the heck? I don't... Maybe there was a power outage? In the pitch black, I couldn't see anything. Couldn't tell what was happening. I don't get it. What's going on? What? Am I getting jump scared?
何今の
Does being in darkness really slow us humans down so much? I know it's dark, but I really have absolutely no idea what just happened. What was that shuffling sound just now? I'm not sure. I can't explain it. I heard an incredible slithering sound, like someone crawling out of a bed. I didn't think, or I didn't think I'd heard it. It wasn't that vague. I definitely heard it happen right next to me, clearly. However, there was no change to the bed. No one had been sleeping there in the first place, and the sheets were still perfectly straight. Someone had crawled out of the bed and had laughed in a creepy voice before leaving the room. This is so weird. I guess this is what happens, like, power outage go off on its own and then just do the thing. That's what it felt like. Felt like? I'm here, and the bed's right there. I'm not only in the same room, I'm right next to it. So why am I so unsure about what happened just a few seconds ago? I gripped the receiver, which had gone completely silent, and waited there alone, unable to move in a quiet room that seemed exactly identical to the one I'd entered. Huh? What? If nothing's changed since the beginning, I can just pretend that the last minute or so didn't happen. Yet, if something has changed, that would prove that something really did happen.
なんだよ。なんでねえんだよ。
Did it fall to the floor? No, it's not there. No matter where I look, from whatever angle, it's not there. The offering plate with the cookies and chocolate is still here. The thing they were being offered to, the doll, is gone. Huh. So the offerings are still there, but the doll. So the only thing different was the doll. Maybe the doll was supposedly the vessel of the witch, or maybe someone someone turned out the lights in the VIP room, opened the door. Someone wants to open from the outside of the VIP room and took snuck in, take the doll out. and, and gone out just like that.
嘘だ。
Then what just happened? Is the Beatrice-sama doll supposed to have cackled out loud and left the room? Getting some very weird clock tower vibes in this one. It's not even funny. And left the room. No, that crawling sound was too loud to have even made by a doll. It was a noisy sort of sound, like a kid playing with a blanket and using it as a cape. Then what? Is that Beatrice-sama doll supposed to have turned into a human and then run cackling from the room?
嘘だ。
After that, nothing happened. The doll alone disappeared and nothing else changed. And a VIP room that had remained completely unchanged was filled only with the sound of wind and rain. I stood there, too shocked to move. This is
人
baffling.
形は結局見つかったのか？
This is baffling.
物陰からベッドの下まで探したさ。それこそ中に入り込んでまで。
The doll playing hide and seek. Surely the doll didn't escape from the room.
でも見つからなかった。
一体あの部屋で何があったと考えてる？
ベアトリーチェ様のたたりなんて思いはしねえぜ。あるいは使用人の誰かのいたずらだったかもしれねえ。
I thought so too. I thought one of the servants just decided to sneak into the VIP room and took the doll and ran off with it. That was smart, but
いたずら？
prank?
マリアの声はあらかじめカセットテープにでも取ってあって、それを午前2時ちょうどに電話して再生ボタンを押した。そしてほどほどのところで配電盤か何かで停電させた。それからあらかじめ貴賓室のどこかに隠れてた誰かが気持ち悪く笑いながら人形を持って出て行った。そう考えりゃ辻褄は合うぜ。
That can be the possibility that they could have recorded Maria's voice and did just that, and then when it could cut off, it's just like, oh, it's like, it looks like someone, use it from a recorder. Although it would be weird that Maria would, I mean, I guess that's what, at 2 in the fucking morning.
釈然とはしてないようだな。
そりゃそうだろう。だってこれが私を脅かすためのいたずらだとしたら大掛かりが過ぎるぜ。
They made Maria sing beforehand and recorded it. Then someone called the VIP room and replayed that recording. Then someone waited until exactly the right time and tripped the breaker from the VIP room. To turn off the power to the VIP room, you'd have to go to the basement. There's a switchboard booth down in the boiler room. There's no phone line down there, so you need a different person to play back Maria's tape. And you need another person to hide in the VIP room and cackle before leaving. And just how long would this last person have to hide in the VIP room beforehand? How long would they have to hide in the pitch black VIP room, under the bed, for example, waiting to scare Jessica, who might or might not even come?
魔女のたたりなんてあるわけもねえぜ。でもよ、人間のいたずらだと考えて、それだけの人間が緻密に示し合わせて 私を驚かせるためだけに何時間も暗闇で待ち構えてたって考える方が、私はよっぽど薄気味悪いぜ。
It was Maria's plan all along to clap back at Jessica for hurting her feelings or for triggering her.
同感だな。
Uh,
いっそたたりの方がマシだ。そのことを後日使用人たちには聞いたのか？
聞いたってとぼけるに決まってるぜ。それに最低3人だぜ。あの日は源氏さんと郷田さんと熊沢さんとシャノンの4人が泊まってた。そのうちの3人があんな薄気味悪いいたずらに加担したってのか？わけわかんねえ。だから私は聞けなかった。
I'm pretty sure Shannon would probably. Well, the thing about making a cackling sound is that you'd have to like. You'd have to be a really good of. You have to be really good with the voice just to resemble the witch, you know, or the made up character. So, and I guess Shannon would probably could fit that role. I'm not sure if someone would be agile enough to, sneak in and take the doll out of the room. Yeah.
うん。
No, I'm pretty sure Shannon would probably do something like that, sneak out of the room. And it's either, one of the older servants would probably call her by the phone. If that comes off as true, that is. True, it had been a strange experience for her, but it wasn't something completely impossible for humans to do. Even so, it really must have been more unnerving to imagine a large number of people planning so carefully just to scare Jessica. It's no surprise that Jessica found this scarier than Beatrice's curse.
今でも使用人たちがお前をはめたと信じてるか？
いや、多分ビビっちまった私の勘違いなんだよ。きっと人形はどこかに転げ落ちて、私がたまたまそれを見つけられなかっただけなんだ。
I mean, is there really somewhere in the VIP room that can make it really hard find an object really hard to find? Again, like it's a pretty. I mean, it looks like a really comfortable VIP room, but if anything, like since no one is allowed to go in, or like obviously you can't sit on the chair or bed or anything like that, except for the VIP guests, that is.
すべて気のせいだったと言いたいのか？
人形が消えた以外何の変化も証拠もない。マリアにも後日聞いたけど、歌のことも電話のことも知らないと言われた。とぼけたのか本当に知らないのかはわからないけれど。
I mean, Maria makes a good liar, so it's not surprising.
とにかくあの晩のあの出来事は私が確かにあったと言い張ってるだけで何も証明することができない。
皮肉だな。たとえお前が本当にベアトリーチェに会ったと言っても、それを証明できないのと同じだ。
しばらくはショックだったけど、時間が経って、あれは臆病な私が落雷か何かで一瞬だけ停電したのにびっくりして、 庭木の枝がちぎれてバサバサ落ちる音を誤解したんじゃないかなって思えるようになった。
笑い声は？
Okay, you think? Okay, if you think the tree would probably break the freaking power out or some shit like that, then who did the laugh?
変な鳥の鳴き声とか。
Oh, oh, brother.
とにかくそう聞こえてしまう何かの聞き間違いだったかもしれねえ。
Is there? I mean, if you think it's a bird, is there really a type of species of bird that would make some sort of laugh? I mean, the closest I can think of is a parrot, because usually parrots can mimic like human speech, you know, if you train them hard enough. But I guess, I mean, if you call a parrot a strange bird, then sure, I guess.
私は強がってるだけで、本当は信じられないくらい臆病だったんだ。だからあんなことがあったように誤解してしまったんだ。
It's true. You can't brace damn Pat. No.
そう考えるようにして、あの晩のことを忘れようと自分に強く言い聞かせた。
すべては闇の中か。
人間忘れようと思えば結構できるもんだよな。以来ベアトリーチェという言葉を聞くたびに嫌な気持ちがこみ上げる。でもそれを顔に出さないように努めてる。
うん。
おしまい。私に話せるのはこの程度の話だけだぜ。
And that's how you know about heard the story of Beatrice. Just from the attempt of going to the VIP. Interesting.
情けない話だから誰にも内緒に。私がビビリだったって誰にも知られたくねえからな。
That you're a chicken.
わかった。最後に一つだけ質問したい。
貴賓室のことで？
違う。食堂でのことだ。
食堂？
You know what happened. How it caused it.
お前の会談の直前の親族会議の日、食堂には親族全員が揃ったな。
ああ、当時はまだバトラは戻ってなかったけど、
This was all long before then.
それ以外は全員いたよ。もちろんじいさまは除くぜ。
演者は腹痛で空席だったな。それはお前の隣の席だな。
そうだぜ。
それはお前の右の席だったか。
そうだぜ。右の席だよ。それが何か？あれ？おかしいな。どうして右？
十分だ。
Why is it
無理に
strange?
考えるな。頭痛になら。
Oh, wait. The seat to her right. Wait, are you referring to the seat that was supposed to be where Leon was supposed to be sitting, considering Jessica's Leon's sibling, or is this something? Huh. Is Jessica, like, am I having a stroke? Is Jessica having some deja vu here? I know this is a different scenario, episode 7, but
どうしたんだいジェシカ。何を悩んでるんだい？いや、右左。
right, left. Is this mimicking some sort of puzzle?
おかしなジェシカ。どうビル？ジョージ兄さんやジェシカに何か聞けました？
まずまずだ。
A bit, I guess.
ベアトリーチェの階段はなかなか面白かった。
You think that story was fun? I don't know about the look on your face though, whether it's fun or not.
階段？どんな話ですか？
午前2時の貴賓室にベアトリーチェの亡霊が現れるという話だ。なかなかおっかない話だったぞ。
初耳です。誰が言い出した話か知りませんけど、仮にも当主様の恩人を階段にしてしまうなんて失礼な話ですね。
模範解答だな。
何か？
リオンは碑文はわかるか？
碑文？何の話です？
The fuck do you mean, what epitaph?
ベアトリーチェの肖像画のところにある
Yeah, it's
例
like
の碑文だ。
the one that is there was a plaque of it right by the portrait. Like I'm pretty sure you were at the mansion, you know, multiple times or most of the time in your life.
すみません。何のことかさっぱり。
懐かしき故郷を貫く鮎の川。
何ですかそれは？
お前の、いや、この世界には肖像画はあるのに碑文はねえのか。
Oh, okay. In the world of episode 7, the epitaph, you know, let's pretend the epitaph isn't there in this world, but, you know, outside of, you know, other, you know, fragments, the epitaph does exist. Let's see.
玄関ホールに掲げられてるベアトリーチェの大きな肖像画は私だってもちろん知っています。しかし碑文の話は分かりません。何の話です？
面白い違いだ。リオンはずっと六軒島で暮らしてきたな。
無論です。それが何か？
子供の頃、森には近づくなと脅されてたはずだ。
ええ。迷子になって危ないから決して近づくなと昔から。
森には魔女が出ると？
魔女？何の話です？
黄金の魔女にして六軒島の夜の支配者ベアトリーチェ。
Yeah, we're I guess, you know, considering you're new to this, Willard is here to educate you.
ベアトリーチェはおじい様の恩人です。
I mean, considering that, well, Leon knows who Beatrice is a person, but, you know, that person doesn't know, you know, Beatrice Witch itself.
それを魔女だか妖怪だかのように扱うのは少々失礼かと思いますが。
魔女のベアトリーチェは知らないと？
黄金と共に潜水艦でやってきたベアトリーチェと 隠し屋敷で育ったその娘の話は知っていますよ。あなたと一緒にさっき知ったではありませんか。それがいつ魔女になったんです？
なるほど、そうきたか。では森に入ると何が出ると脅された？
森には狼が住んでるから近寄るなと。
魔女でなく狼か。なるほどな。面白い。
Wait, that's the other way around. Or was Jessica told, the wolves lived in the forest? That's it.
私は面白くありません。何の話です？魔女って何のことですか？
こっちの話だ。最後にもう一つ聞きて。
どうぞ。
親族会議の食堂でお前の右には誰が座ってる？
私の向かいは妹のジェシカ。その次の序列はエヴァおばさんの息子になります。だからジョージ兄さんですけれど、それが何か？
Oh, I see what Jessica was saying. The left right thing.
なるほどな。
All comes together.
紛らわしく入り混じってやがる。だが面白い。
It all comes together in this episode. It's so funny how Jessica gets so fucking confused.
私には全然さっぱりですが。
Well, I'm still in the dark as well, so. Episode ends just like that. Here's the culprit. We're still in the chapel.
分かったんですか？ベアトリーチェを誰が殺したのか。
ああ。
Wait, you figured it out?
大体な。
Oh, it's okay. Well, it's more or less.
まさか当主様が殺したなどとおっしゃるつもりはないでしょうね。
ベルン・カステルが求めてるのは金蔵と関わった2人のベアトリーチェじゃない。1986年のベアトリーチェを誰が殺したかだ。
その今年のベアトリーチェという意味が分かりません。魔女のベアトリーチェとは何の話なんです？さっきの話といい、碑文とやらの話といい、そろそろ教えてくれませんか？
いいだろう。もったいぶる気もね。
This time, to sit down and talk about the cold hard truth.
まずはじめに、魔女のベアトリーチェとは何のことです？
厳密には人ではない。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェという名の概念だ。
階段そのものだと？
さらに厳密には階段さえも概念を生み出す一要素に過ぎない。
話がさっぱりです。
階段は本来三人称や二人称で語るべきものだ。それを一人称で語り出したやつがいる。
自分がベアトリーチェだと誰かが自称し始めた。
六軒島の悪霊伝説や子供を森に近づけないための作り話が。金蔵が繰り返すベアトリーチェの嘆きで修飾されて魔女伝説を醸成していった。その架空の魔女に憧れて会いたいと懇願したのが後宮マリアだ。それに応えたやつがいる。
さっぱりな話ですが、腰を折らずに相槌を打ちましょう。答えたとはどういう意味です？
後宮マリアは気の毒な生い立ちによりオカルトに執着するようになった。その彼女に同情したやつがベアトリーチェに扮してマリアと遊んでやったということだ。
That's the funny part. It's like, imagine having a fucked up childhood to where like you want to be a part of the occult to to cure the childhood trauma, So, well, we are over an hour in. So that was a very interesting just of a explanation on Jessica's end. We'll keep that in mind when it comes to the VIP room. So, next part, we will... So, that's the thing with the VIP room. Is it a prank? Or is it just, just one of those paranormal entity of the such? Now, seems we are on the part where we're just going to explain to Leon about, when it comes to Maria's, mostly just the, figure out who is the culprit behind it. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Take care.